everybody. I'm KJ.
And I'm Crystal.
And we are Christian Conservative, your trusted source for bold, unfiltered news and analysis on the issues that matter most to Christian conservatives. We have an action-packed show for you all tonight, right, Crystal?
Yes, it is going to be good. We got so much to talk to y'all about.
Yes,
The world is going
indeed.
crazy.
It is. And Trump is on a roll. President Trump is on a roll doing everything that he promised to do, and we are super excited. How are you doing tonight, Crystal?
Oh my gosh, y'all. I love my president. Oh my God, I'm so grateful to God. Like he just continues to show himself mighty in this country. He continues, KJ, to show that he is not through with America. I don't care what anybody says. He's not done with us.
No, he is not. He is not. And we have a very good person on the throne, at least for the United States, that seems to be out here really putting forth, the will of the people of God. So many of the values that we believe in and that we were hoping for to President Trump to do, he is doing. We are so excited. So before as we always do on most shows, we open it up with a prayer. Crystal, can you open us up with a prayer tonight?
Absolutely. Father, we love you. We give you praise. We give you glory just for being who you are. Lord, we thank you that you just continue to show yourself faithful to your word, that if your people who are called by your name will humble themselves and pray, seek your face, turn from our wicked ways, you will hear from heaven, forgive our sins, and heal our land. Lord, we are asking that you continue to heal this nation like never before. Thank you for doing it through President Trump. Thank you for doing it for your people. Oh God, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Yes. Now, folks, we are streaming tonight on Poppin' Politics, but this is Christian Conservative. So if you are watching on Poppin' Politics, come on over to Christian Conservative's YouTube channel. That's at KJCJ Christian Conservative. This is where we are going to be broadcasting on Thursday and Sunday. So come on over to the chat. I see you all. I want to shout out everybody. Nick's Fan Show NYC says, God bless America, you sisters. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yes, Joy. All right, amen. Deborah Huber, thank you so much. Manuel Lopez. All right, you all good from Puerto Rico. Hey. Yes, Christopher Smith and Bren. God first, y'all. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. Yes, so please come on over to Christian Conservative if you are watching from Poppin' Politics, because we're going to cut the stream on Poppin' Politics within the next couple of minutes or so.
Yeah,
come on over to Christian Conservative. I'm going to put this link I'm going to put the link for Christian Conservative in the
chat.
Yes.
Kim Beerley, she just said, hey, I switched chats. Thanks, girl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chats. Come on. Let me know who's switching the chats.
Yes.
We love y'all on Poppin' Politics, and we are so grateful that you continue to support. But we really want to grow this channel too. In addition,
yes,
like button and subscribe.
All right. So here it is. I'm putting the link in for Christian Conservative. All right. There you guys go. All right. So want to get in some topics before we switch off the stream from Poppin' Politics. So breaking news out today, before we really get into the show, I want to go over this. Right now, President Trump is at he was at least at the Republican Governors Association. And he is dropping bombs, you guys.
I love that man. Nothing can make me hate him. I'm sorry. Him and R. Kelly.
Oh my gosh. No, those are two different people right there. Okay. Well, he is at the again, the Republican Governors Association, and he just told Maine that he's going to stop their federal funding. So take a look here. Here he is. He is not playing with these people. All right.
I heard men are still playing in Maine. Is anybody here from Maine? Who is that? Is that the governor? Well, I hate to tell you this, but we're not going to give them any federal money. They are still saying we want men to play in women's sports, and I cannot believe that they're doing that. They are, let's find out who that guy is that raised his hand. Maybe he's just kidding. But so we're not going to give him any federal funding, none whatsoever, until they clean that up. And I heard men.
All right, there you have it. He is not playing around with these executive orders and the federal funding towards people who, one, are, if you're a sanctuary city, sanctuary state, he's pulling funding. And if you are not abiding by his new executive order on trans and men and women's sports.
Yeah, I don't understand what they don't understand about he is the president. And what happened to, like, you want to support and all of that? When Biden was doing things that was not popular with the American people, y'all got mad at conservatives for saying that they don't want to support it. Now, this is what the American people want. You even see it in New York. Like, New York, there, the whole toll thing, the tolls, he's getting rid of, like, the federal tolls. Mind you, the highway is owned by the tolls, and they're like trying to not do that. And it's like, he is the president. So yes, in their funding, y'all don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should do the same thing, Crystal. This is the law of the land.
Yeah, I agree. I think they.
Oops, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the law of the land, and they need to abide by it. And if they don't, then you think it's important enough to lose your federal funding, then so be it.
And you need it. Your people need it. Like, and it's so sad is the poor people of Maine that won't get it, or the poor people of some of these liberal states, and like us, KJ, like Maryland.
Right.
Like, why do you guys feel like y'all can defy what the president is doing that the American people want?
Right. Kevin says he's voted exactly to what he's doing. We did the same, Kevin. We feel exactly the way you did. And speaking of that, many of the courts, the federal courts are backing up these executive orders. Breaking out today, federal judge allows Trump's administration's mass layoffs to proceed. So a federal judge in Washington, D.C., no doubt, ruled today that the Trump administration and Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, can continue its mass firings of federal employees, rejecting a bid from a group of labor unions.
Yes, and I keep saying this, and I'm literally gonna make a T-shirt, KJ, that says, "No one owes you a government job. You have to create value. We don't owe you a job. The government is not an employment system, and that's what it has become." I mean, you even hear some of the prominent podcasters. Like I was listening to Roland Martin the other day, and he was like, "Oh, do you know?" Look, I'm making fireworks. Even MacBook is with me. But he said, "Oh, did you know that like 75% of the government workforce is black?" That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care if they're green, they're blue. I need 99% of the workforce adding value. I don't care if you black, green, blue, purple, white, whatever.
Right, you're right. Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat says, "Sorry I am late, ladies. We are here, Kung Fu. Thank you so much." And folks who have just joined, this is Christian Conservative. We are broadcasting tonight from Poppin' Politics, but we are also on Christian Conservative, the Christian Conservative YouTube channel. It's linked here in the chat. So if you are watching from Poppin' Politics, please come over to Christian Conservative, because we are going to cut this broadcast momentarily on Poppin' Politics. All right. So other also out recently within the last couple of days, President Trump, well, they announced this, I think, yesterday or the day before. Elon had said on X that he wanted to audit the gold reserves at Fort Knox. Breaking news out today, President Trump has backed his plan to do this. So President Trump says, we are going into Fort Knox to make sure the gold is there. Trump told reporters on Air Force One today. You know that we're going to go into Fort Knox. Did you know about that? Billionaire Elon Musk, one of Trump's advisors, recently suggested verifying that Fort Knox still holds the gold that officials say it does. So they're going to do it, folks.
Oh,
and
God.
this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, and I need you guys to understand. And I know, hold on, the people watching us, we get it, right? But share this with your friend. It does not belong to the government. It does not belong to Fort Knox, the institution. It belongs to the American people, y'all. It's our gold, and we have a right to audit it. We have a right to make sure that it's there, that it is there for our usage, for emergencies. It belongs to the American people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the issue, because many of these, lifelong bureaucrats in government, and these ones that have like Pelosi, Schumer, Mitch McConnell, all of these people in Congress who have been there for decades upon decades, they think the money is theirs.
They do, KJ, they do.
Exactly. And this is why they're so upset with Doge uncovering all of this stuff, because they know that they have been using this money. They have been funneling it into their coffers through NGOs and things like that, and getting paid on the back end. And this is why they're so upset that this money is being exposed.
Exactly. Or even if they haven't, KJ, they've been even worse, negligent. I would almost rather we come up with the solution that, they were taking the money and taking it offshore. I would appreciate that more, even though it's foul. At least it's intentional. What pisses me off is the negligence of the people that we pay to defend us, to protect us, to make laws concerning our children's future. Just the negligence.
It's very negligent. And once again, as we have said time and time on here, the media is not doing their jobs. They are not investigating these things. They are propaganda tools for the Democrat Party. And this takes us to our first story of the night, Robert F. Kennedy. So, in one of Robert RFK Jr.'s first moves as Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the agency released guidance yesterday for the U.S. government, external partners, and the public that offers a narrower definition of sex than the ones used by many scientists, and that aligns with a January executive order signed by President Trump. This is according to CNN. Of course, we know that two sexes have been the actual definition of man, woman is two sexes for many decades. I mean, generations, honestly. But the media and the left are kirking out due to this. And so we have a video here where on CNN where they are venting their frustration after HHS issued this new guidance. So I wanted you guys to see this.
New/old, right?
Right, I know. I know.
Like,
they're crazy.
XX or XY. That's your choices.
Right. All right, here we are. So let's see here. Wait until you all see this. Okay. All right, here we go.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s first moves as Secretary of Health and Human Services. The agency has released new guidance that gives a narrower definition of sex than the ones used by most scientists.
And this language aligns with an executive order that President Trump signed last month and includes new definitions for words like sex, female, woman, male, man, and more. CNN's Jacqueline Howard joins us now. Jacqueline, walk us through this new...
Before we go on, do you see how disingenuous these people are? These aren't new definitions.
It is not. It's just about a narrower definition. And hold on, look, they got to get the black girl to carry water. They got to get the sister girl.
Yeah. Here we go.
Guidance.
Yeah, what I can tell you, this new guidance defines sex as, quote, a person's immutable biological classification as either male or female. So this means this definition cannot change. And a woman is defined as an adult human female and a man as an adult human male. So that's what the guidance states that was just recently released. Now, in response, Boris and Brianna, we are hearing from some critics who say the new definitions fail to account for people like those who are intersex. Up to 2% of the US population is born intersex, meaning that their reproductive anatomy does not really fit the male-female binary. And then there's other criticism saying that this perpetuates discrimination against the trans community, and this could lead to discriminatory policies and practices. So we are seeing these responses in the wake of this new guidance being issued.
Oh. My thing is, I actually saw this today. Did you see all the memes of him removing now it's just LGB? There's he removed the TQIA. Everything is gone. So now everything has LGB on it. Y'all, people are so upset. And my thing is this is such a small portion of people who have gender dysphoria. You guys, it's nothing to play with. And I saw somebody, and we've talked about this too, is to start to play along in their sandbox would be like if a person said that they had anorexia and you acknowledged they said I'm fat and they are literally 90 pounds and they keep saying they're fat, like you're acknowledging their sickness. And I love President Trump that he's not being bullied by these people. It is what it is. You're either male or female, whoever you're attracted to, that's a different story, but your sex is what it is.
Exactly. We have slipped into insanity over the last 4 to 10 years. Yeah. And thank God that he is bringing clarity and sanity back and making it mainstream, because for too long, the Biden administration and the left has legitimized mental issues, mental health issues. And she's a liar. This woman on here, intersex people do not have a third kind of sex organ that violates the female-male dichotomy. It's still either they have, male genitalia or female genitalia. Either they produce sperm or ova. That's what I mean. They may have both genitalia, but it's still which sex is defined by the type of gamete, sperm or ova. And it has the function of producing. So these people are such liars. They are such liars. And I liken it to, if you kind of compare, we know we have day or night. And there's also dusk and dawn. So it's just like, so are you saying that in reality, just because we have dusk and dawn, that casts doubt on a day and night? It makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's so crazy that they're utilizing these people who have a physical condition that they literally produce, they have two organs by, it's a dysfunction. What do you call it? Like, I mean, like it's serious. Like
it's aberration.
It's abnormal. Yeah.
Right. Abnormality. Right.
Unfortunately, those people are not the ones screaming and yelling, saying that they want to be both. Those people would be so grateful if they didn't have the issue of growing a penis while you have a vagina. Like, they don't want that. That's an abnormality. And for these people to kind of cape up and say, oh, this is not including them, those people are not confused. Those people are not who we're talking about. We are talking about healthy biological males and healthy biological females who have somehow decided that God made a mistake. The God who cannot make mistakes made a mistake with them, and they want to change their sex.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
The news media to try to make it seem like, oh, now we're just making this up out of nowhere, when we know that it's true throughout the plant and animal kingdoms, from this has been it from the beginning of time. This has been how it is. And for the vast majority of people, their sex is obvious. And our society isn't experiencing a sudden dramatic surge in people born with ambiguous genitalia. So
the new narrower definition, sweetheart. It is not new. It is the tale as old as time. Okay,
right.
Your definition is new. It is not opposite day, sweetheart.
Exactly. So folks, I see you guys commenting, and like you said, Matthew, he says God don't make mistakes. I agree. Sue says you can change a lot of things, but you can't change DNA. Exactly.
Yep.
This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to push this really on children. They're trying to push this on children to get them to change the mindset. This is what it's all.
Oh yeah, it's propaganda. I mean, you see it in all the shows and stuff. Like I have to constantly, if you guys are not talking to your children, I know our people are, but share it with people who are not doing this. I have to talk to my daughter. Like I was watching a show the other day, KJ, and they were like telling the kids that they don't need parents. Like they were like, we don't need parents. And I'm like, I said, that's propaganda, right? Like they are lying to you, right?
Yeah. This is what they're doing. And as we talked about this on here before, they are trying their best. The left is trying their best to whittle away parental rights.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in the culture. They're doing it in education. All over, they are trying to do this. And we have, like you mentioned, we have to constantly educate our children. Kung Fu CJ with a $2 super chat says, I couldn't post my comment in the super chat.
Oh no. Well, what was you saying?
It may be because we are on two channels tonight. So we're on Poppin' Politics and we're on the Christian Conservative. We're going to cut the stream on Poppin' Politics in just a moment and only stream from Christian Conservative. So you guys, if you're watching from Poppin' Politics, come over to Christian Conservative. We got a lot of show to talk about tonight.
Yes.
I want you guys to join in with us. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. We have almost 300 people on tonight. So please hit the like button and come over to Christian Conservative because this is going to end on here momentarily.
Please. And Kung Fu CJ said DNA tells the truth. XX is female and XY is male. You guys, that's not hate speech. Mm-hmm. That is not someone saying that you're a bad person. It's just what your maker made you, sweetheart. And you're gonna be that when they exhume your body. 900 years from now, they're going to be able to tell whether that hip was a XY or XX.
Right. Thank you, Joy. Joy is watching from Christian Conservative. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Mortius says he's a new member on the Freedom Seekers. All right. You got to come over to Christian Conservative, Mortius, because we're going to cut this stream on Poppin' Politics momentarily. But thank you for joining. Yes. Donnie says, I'm Catholic and the Pope is an evil man. I know he is.
This Pope, when you say the Pope, we've had some good popes. They've been okay.
Yeah. This
one is.
Yeah. All right. So moving along, want to get into Kash Patel. Kash Patel has finally been confirmed. Are you excited about this, Crystal, or what?
Oh my God. I love Kash Patel. First of all, he's a New Yorker. So, I literally already have the affinity for him. And then he is not afraid of these people. They are afraid of him. Mm-hmm. And that's what we need. That's MAGA, y'all. We ain't scared of these people. We ain't scared of them.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I am so happy about him and many of the people that have been confirmed.
Yes.
I think it was like 18 confirmations now. Here's a clip. I want you guys to see this of Kash Patel during his confirmation, pretty much just giving it to Adam Schiff.
Yeah.
Here it is. Let's see.
He is so special. He's only 44.
Really?
Yes, he's so young, but so daggone smart and so accomplished.
Yes, he is, and he's a firebrand.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
old. He's not afraid to stick it to the deep state. All right, here it is.
For director of the FBI, and here you did no diligence to find out whether people you were associating with now the president of the United States in song were convicted of attacking police officers. Is that who we want running the FBI? I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now.
And he didn't.
Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
you
my entire life,
it in song,
and I did
Mr.
not
Patel.
make a single dime out of
In
it.
song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that answer.
Period.
Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a...
Yeah, so he got him, didn't he?
Yes, and I guarantee you all of those people would have said, yes, he has my back. Adam Schiff, we already know what he is. Like President Trump calls him Shifty Schiff. He literally is he's the scum of the earth. Like he's something so slimy and slithering about him. Like I don't even know how he shows his face. But it's really important to know that Kash Patel loves this country. He is the son of immigrants, I think from Africa, but he's Indian descent. And the way that he has carried out fearlessly for the benefit of the American people, like is nothing to be anything but like commended. I mean, he's fantastic.
In the face of so many people pushing back against him. I mean, that is what I just love about him. We have a super chat here. Mortius Vicama says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not.
Come on. That's the part. You can't say to the potter, you made a mistake. Sorry. You were supposed to make me a woman. You can't.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
or you were supposed to make me a spoon when it's a plate.
Absolutely. And guess what? It does not go along with God's design. Nope. And this is why, and I've been saying this for a long time, it is so important that we do not succumb to these lies, particularly about the design that God has for our bodies, the design of a man and a woman, because when that goes, so goes marriage, so goes father, mother, and child, all of those relationships. And that is exactly what they're trying to destroy. This is what it is. They don't want families. They don't want the biblical marriage. They do not want us. They want our children. Well, how do you do that? You get rid of the idea of mother and father. You whittle away against parental rights. And all of this stems from the idea of man and woman as we know it to be biblically. So
And it's so crazy. And I look at people like Kash Patel. I look at people like JD Vance, Vice President JD Vance. I look at people like Pete Hegseth. I look at people like President Trump. They do not like the strong man. They actually say it. They say, "Oh, we don't want strong man, strong man." But let me tell you what the Bible says. What's her name? Rachel. What's the white girl on MSNBC? Rachel
Maddow.
Yeah. Let me tell you what the Bible says, Miss Rachel Maddow, is you bind the strong man and the enemy can take over the entire house. We are safer. You and your little short haircut trying to be a man. We're not safer with people like you. We are safer with the Kash Patels. We are safer with the President Trump. So I am grateful for them.
Absolutely.
That's the truth.
Right, absolutely. And so like I said, this is what is happening today. So Patel is now the 18th member of President Trump's cabinet to be confirmed. He was confirmed to the position by the Senate today with a vote of 51 to 49. So leading up to the final confirmation vote, the Senate voted in favor of invoking cloture in order to end debate early, 51 to 47. Now, of course, there were not all Republicans voted for him. Susan Collins said she would not be voting in favor of Kash Patel, and she didn't vote for Secretary Pete Hegseth either, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Yeah, they got a problem with men who stand on business. They got a problem with men who don't who are not intimidated. They are intimidating. And I get it. But he was going to be confirmed either way. Like, God made it like this. President Trump is our president, and he gets to pick the people who he feels is going to best carry out the agenda that the American people have entrusted him with.
Absolutely. So now it's on. So now he's in. So he's already vowed to work with lawmakers in order to show that the people who worked with Jeffrey Epstein, he told lawmakers that in the hearing, and it is on.
He promised to do that. He promised to do the Epstein list, and honestly, he promised to dismantle the FBI. Right now, it has become a tool of a party who has taken away the rights of the American people, investigated moms and dads, and it needs to be broken up, as he stated. And y'all need to go solve crimes. Go help the states. Stop on your cushy job in Washington trying to arrest people for misgendering somebody.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the FBI over the last several years have been shameful, from promoting censorship of the Biden laptop story to going after pro-lifers, to the John Durham, Trump Russia probe. I mean,
setting up President Trump. If you ask me, y'all have investigated moms and dads at parent-teacher board meetings, but I haven't heard anything about the person that tried to unalive my president.
Yeah, it's coming. It is coming, and I cannot wait. This is going to be a wonderful 4 years. I mean, goodness gracious, it hasn't even been a month yet. I think today was our 30 days. I think today marked 30 days since he was.
Yep, the 20th.
I mean, so I am so excited. I am so excited. So, folks, all right, we got 5 minutes, and we're going to cut the stream on Poppin' Politics and just stream from Christian Conservative. Almost 300 people on. So, folks, come on over to Christian Conservative and finish watching the show tonight. We're cutting the stream on Poppin' Politics, and we're only going to continue on Christian Conservative. And we got some doozies for you. All right, so I want to talk about Stacey Abrams. So this is why what Doge is doing is so important. Did you hear about this $2 billion in taxpayer money designated for her nonprofit? She had a nonprofit called Power Forward Communities. And the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, uncovered $2 billion that was set aside for her in this organization. So it's
I believe it.
Yeah, this is a money laundering scheme that these people had in place.
Not the sister girl, not the black victim girl. No, not her.
Yes. The organization itself was founded in October of 2023, brand new, as part of a coalition led by the leftist group Rewiring America. And Abrams quickly became affiliated with this. This is according to New York Post. And so basically, this Power Forward Communities describes itself as the first national program to finance home energy efficiency upgrades at a scale. So you're telling me she needed $2 billion? How many people start organizations, nonprofits, and things, and we don't even get this $2 billion?
Well, it was a grift, like you said. It was probably hooked up with USAID or one of those government contractors that they have been funneling money through. I have a hard time believing that Stacey Abram in all of her glory, and I know she's really convincing and beautiful and
Oh, please.
was able to raise that kind of money. You know it came from the American taxpayer and it was grifted. Now, if you feel like you have a cause that is so important, then raise the money. Then raise the freaking money. But what you want is the American taxpayer to pay and funnel these things in order to fund your lifestyle while you claim to care about the black people and the little people and the right to vote. These people don't care about nothing. They only care about themselves.
See, it's stealing.
It's stealing.
This I did $2 billion with a B, $2 billion. So
funneling money.
It says here, according to the Washington Free Beacon, only 8 of these Abrams Power Forward communities, only through $2 billion to pass through entity for Biden's EPA $20 billion gold bar scheme. So, I mean, they had all kinds of schemes going on here. This is ridiculous. And so Lee Zeldin, who was appointed to head the EPA under President Trump, found this money and put a halt to it. Thank God.
Good. And that's what they don't like. One of the things that President Trump, when he was talking to Elon Musk, when they did their bromance interview, I love that for them. I love that they love each other. And he said, all it takes is 2 things. You either need to care and be competent. That's literally like, and what President Trump is putting in place is he has people who really care about this country, like people who are really not trying to get over. They really just want to see this country do well because they understand that when this country does well, they do well. Or they need to be competent. And unfortunately, the people who have been running our country, as President Trump says, they're stupid people. They literally are incompetent. Yeah. And so the fact that a person like Stacey Abrams, who is like, she's not smart. She's not, I mean, like she talks, like in her intelligent, I have my master's degree and I'm still a loser voice. But she's not anything like extraordinary, and she's able to funnel billions of dollars. That is utter incompetence.
Look at Maxine Waters. I mean, doesn't get any dumber than her.
I know.
She has been in Congress since the 90s. And this woman, she can barely speak. She's nasty. She doesn't even have a good disposition about her. And she has gotten rich off of the government tit. I mean, she is what you would call a welfare queen.
Yes.
And not only herself, but she has also made her family millionaires, while the area that she's supposed to govern continues to sit in squalor and in poverty.
That's the part for me, KJ. That is the part for me. If you are doing a bang up job and you killing the game and your people are prospering and your schools are great and you are creating a great product, Elon Musk, then yes, I want you to be rich. I want you to have as much money. These people have done the worst job. Stacey Abrams is a loser. I'm sorry, and a victim. And everybody stole the election. She got a Netflix special to talk about how the election was stolen. Sis, I can look at you and tell nobody's voting for you. It's not convincing. I know your constituents. I know black girls, and black girls is not voting for Stacey Abrams. They're just not. She don't give that kind of vibe.
No.
And so if you did a good job, Maxine Waters, and your area is profitable, then fine. But you have literally drained your district dry. And you literally are the queen of clicks and likes, reclaim my time and all of this. And then she got Jasmine Crooked coming up behind her, and it's a whole black girl magic affair. Y'all, I'm sorry. I want to go back to the days where it's just like no women in Congress. If that's how y'all gonna act, and that's how y'all going to conduct yourself, then just let the men handle it.
Yeah. And you, like you said, they're grooming Jasmine Crockett to be the modern age Maxine Waters.
Yes.
And this one right here makes me sick.
Crooked.
I mean, she is so crooked. She's a liar. She's a bold-faced liar. She's nasty. And people love her, though. The Democrats love her. And here she is talking about Doge. And folks, if this snippet that we're about to show you, if you don't see how the grift is being played, then you are blind and you deserve to get all of your hardworking money taken out by taxes. You really do. Because these people are upset that President Trump and Elon Musk are uncovering this fraud, this waste, because they are trying to maneuver this money into their own pockets.
Yeah. Yeah. Or to their people's pot, whoever owns them, or whoever
comes back around,
or who got them on tapes,
right?
Or who got them on tape.
Not doing any of this for free. They're trying to line the pockets, as you mentioned, of organizations and nonprofits and NGOs that they are somehow connected to, and the money somehow comes back to them. This is how they become filthy rich, by just working as public servants, so-called public servants. And here she is now. I mean, she is nasty.
She is. And it's the wig and the lashes for me.
Oh,
like, I can't take it.
I can't take it either.
He likes the idea of giving some of the savings from Doge back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie. He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID that was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate. Right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us, because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again. We had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime, because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists, or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you.
That President Trump.
Let me tell you, she is going down with the Democrat shit. I'm telling you, sis is ride or die, KJ. She ride or die.
It's disgusting. It is disgusting. That whole thing summed up just what their diabolical plan has always been. First they lie, then they fearmonger. They fearmonger. And she put something new in there. At the end, she said, she doesn't know what $5,000 is going to do for you. How dare you?
Really?
How dare you?
Really, sis? Like, are you getting it like that? My thing, my thing is that these Democrats, somebody said, in simulation said the eyelashes kill me. It's the lifting up of the lace front for me this time. Like, usually it's the lashes. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to disrespect that girl, but she just make it so easy. And we got to meet, KJ, we got to meet them where they are. Seriously. Because they will come for us. Would they not?
Oh, yeah.
They would come for us. So my issue with her is she will not say, okay, I really like that idea. My constituents would gain that. And then she can go into, if they are able to do it, I congratulate them. If Elon Musk is able to give the people that I love and the people that I serve $5,000, fine. I don't think that they will, because I believe that we've been doing a good job. However, if they are, great. She won't even have enough humility to do that. They are to the point where it's everything Trump does is bad. And this is going to be a long 4 years for the Democrat Party, and they're going to get spanked in 2028 with that kind of attitude.
It's nasty. And folks, this tells you right here, she doesn't care. She doesn't give a damn about her constituents.
Nope.
She doesn't care. And I'll tell you why. It would be one thing if she were the type of person that had always taken a hard line about handouts. But this same woman has been pushing a reparation. She has been pushing reparations for Black people. And I mean, she was pushing it hard for the last several years. And here we're talking about people getting money, their money.
Dividends. Dividends.
Right. She has always wanted your money to be paid to pay reparations, someone else's money to pay reparations. But we are talking, Doge is talking about distributing 20% of the savings from what they are finding they're finding within the government. They're considering distributing 20% earmarked for reducing the national debt. So it's 20% going towards the savings that they found from Doge, and then 20% earmarked for reducing the national debt. This is what they were talking about. So she is so nasty and wrong on this.
Yeah.
And fearmongers. Oh, we're gonna all die before.
I know. And then she says, we're not in the business. No, we're not in the business of giving out money. Sis, your whole Democrat platform is about giving money. Like, and that's what I don't understand. And I don't get that she is willing to die on this. And it's showing how disingenuous she is. Her loyalty is to her party. Her loyalty is climbing the social ladder and being invited to the little Black events, and she's flipping the hair and the nails and the lashes and honestly, what she really should be doing, and I actually would find very interesting, is she took a Tulsi Gabbard route, meaning Tulsi came to the Democrat Party and they tried to lift her up as on the pedestal, and then she said, hey, I don't really feel comfortable with this, and it cost her everything. But look how God has exalted her. Like, I believe Tulsi Gabbard is going to be the first female president. Honestly, I really do believe that. I heard somebody else say it, so I'm not originating that. But I say that to say Jasmine Crockett, like, she would probably be more respected if she said, I kind of like what he's doing. Like, I mean, even if, like, she would get so much credibility, KJ.
Right? She has none. She has no credibility. She has no shame, no pride, nothing. I want to acknowledge a super chatter here. Mortius, Victimus again. America is not in the business of giving out free money, but it was okay to give billions to Ukraine and millions to illegals while giving the people of North Carolina only $750.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And the people of Hawaii, remember?
Right. And let's talk about this Doge dividend. So, this is really a big thing. To date, Doge has identified $55 billion in cuts across federal agencies, including USAID and the Department of Education. So basically, over the past 4 weeks, Democrats and their media allies have attempted to demonize Doge's cuts as something that takes away from Americans. And it's not the case.
It's not.
So by offering 20% back, the Trump administration is reframing it as a give back to the American taxpayer. This is wonderful. And her nasty self just can't acknowledge it. And even Joe Rogan is talking about this.
Yeah.
I want you guys to take a look at this. Let me see here.
Yeah, while you get that clip, it's just amazing to me that people don't understand. People understand so little about economics. They think that Elon Musk is printing money, but the people that were actually printing money, they never said anything about. Like, he's literally giving us back a refund, but it's cheaper to process. So it's easier to give the American people $5,000 rather than giving them a $5,000 tax credit. They got to wait till tax time and they got to do all of this, and it's easier to just press a button. I don't understand what people don't get about that.
Oh, they get it. They don't like it because they know it's a good thing and it's coming from President Trump.
That's true. That's true, KJ.
And here's Joe Rogan saying the same thing.
Mainstream media cannot ever say that anything this administration is doing is positive. So even if they find unbelievable corruption,
right,
and they've found some really wild shit, like what was the $4.7 trillion in untraceable money?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I sent that to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, you did. Yeah, that was Doge. Was digging through the, essentially the way that money is audited within the government, and they look at the data sets and how things are divided and how you have to explain what's going on. And the idea is that there's a lack of links to payments, outgoing payments, budget line items. So this payment goes out. What is it for? Right. It would be the same thing if you had and I have a business, and in that business, you have to know what you're spending your money on. Right. That's a logical thing. I'm not a rocket scientist. But what they're saying is that they've well, there you go.
Yeah, here it is. So it's the Treasury Access Symbol. TAS is an identification code linking Treasury payment to a budget line item, standard financial process. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for $4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank.
Yeah,
making traceability almost impossible.
Wow.
As of Saturday, this is now a required field, increasing insight into where money is actually going.
Folks, this is our money that they have been taking. How many of us? I'll share a personal story with you all. At the end of the year, it is hard coming up with this money to pay back in these taxes.
Oh yeah,
the money that they're finding, money that we have been taxed out the wazoo. Our hardworking money has been used fraudulently.
And what frustrates me is that we have a lot of Democrats or people who are going to die on the Democrat sword saying, well, it says that, but we don't really actually know. Well, the fact that this is the potential, like we could be letting out this amount of money, it should be concerning to you. It's so, as I used the word before, so negligent. And the fact that we are okay with the people that we pay to serve us in the best possible way at the highest level to have this kind of negligence. And they're defending it. Roland Martin was like, oh, well, just so you know, I agree with what they're doing, but they shouldn't do it like that. They should do it like this. Fat boy, no one needs, the billionaires don't need advice from you as to how to run a business.
I know.
I'm sorry. If they are barbecuing in the back of the White House, you'll be the first that they'll call. If we need a recipe, if we need questions on, fraternities or Black colleges, we will call you, sir. But business, I think President Trump, the billionaire, and Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, they got that.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Folks, this is Christian Conservative. We are streaming on Poppin' Politics tonight. I'm about to cut the feed. So if you aren't over on Christian Conservative, please come on over. Follow us on Christian Conservative. Hit the like button. I'm going to cut the feed. We are about to change gears a little bit and talk about this trans agenda. And folks, the video that I have for you, this is crazy.
KJ be getting these clips, y'all, and she sends them to me, and I just cannot stop laughing.
This is insane. This is insane, folks. We are going to go through this video of this trans agenda here, and it's insane. Come on over to Christian Conservative. We are going to be broadcasting for the next 45 minutes or so from Christian Conservative. So I have the link here. I'm going to put it in the chat again so for you guys, and we are going to continue over here on Christian Conservative. All right, so I'm going to cut the feed on Poppin' Politics, but we are going to continue on over on Christian Conservative. The YouTube channel is at KJCJ Christian Conservative. So please follow us if you are not already. Just coming over. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, open up another link, you guys. Come on over.
Yes. All right. So I'm about to cut the feed on Poppin' Politics. All right, let's see here. And we're going to just do it on Christian Conservative. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay. So here we go. All right. So folks, this is crazy. Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire was taught, he did this thing, I think it's on Jubilee is the channel, where he is pretty much taking questions, doing debate. It's more like a speed
yeah, a few people do it. Yeah, a few people have done it. Yeah.
And he did it with a lot of the trans community. If you cannot see that these people have mental health issues, something is wrong with you. Yeah. I mean, I am not trying to be cruel at all, but this person that he is talking to, so this person's name is, I want to get this for you all. This person's name is, I think Rainbow or something. The person's name is that he's talking to here. And this person is crazy.
Yeah, we got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah. Take a look at this.
She, her, hers powerhouse.
The Blossom Powerhouse. Lovely to meet you.
Yes. Go ahead. I want to know your ideology around transgenderism, something that doesn't exist. It just sounds more like conservative propaganda. So I kind of want to know a little bit more about what you're trying to communicate.
Okay. I think for all of history everywhere, people have understood the human person to have something to do with his body. So like your body has something to do with who you are. Now there is an alternative view, which is called Gnosticism. It's a view that our bodies don't really have anything to do with who we are, that the body is maybe even evil, and that our true selves have no connection to our bodies. And I see in the transgender ideology a kind of Gnosticism that says that you could look like a man, you could have a man's genetics, you could have a man's genitals, you could have a man's everything. But if you feel on some deep level that you're really a woman, then you are really a woman. And I don't think that's true. And I think that the social effects of that are really bad because it leads to the depriving women of their legitimate rights. In some cases, it leads to rapes, notably in the last few years. And it also leads to women losing their sports competitions and their scholarships, and it's just disordered and false. And it also leads to more people adopting this identity, which leads to very high rates of anxiety, depression, and suicide. So it's bad for everyone, and it's not grounded in reality.
Oh, I don't even think you understand what you say sometimes. I don't think you even understand what you say, because when we talk about these rape cases of women in the restroom, they're coming from cis men like you. So let's be very clear.
No, that's not true. In 2021,
do not interrupt a black
well, I'm just trying to correct you. Well, I would never interrupt.
Do not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking. What is that?
KJ, she is on script. That's how the black girls act. And so she kind of feels like, do not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking. I just think it's so funny how she's towering above Matthew Knowles. And he is being as kind and polite as possible. I don't understand how anybody can look at this Blossom girl. Somebody said, oh my God, not Blossom. This Blossom girl does not have a mental issue. Seriously, sis, you are like 6 feet tall. Look at them hands with them nails, KJ.
I know.
And I don't care. Like, you're expecting me to live in your fantasy of you being a woman when, sis, like, can we just say that you're a man that identifies with women, and you just can we do that?
He doesn't want to do it. She want to do whatever he is. He goes on. Here he is again. Take a look.
interrupt a black woman.
No, thank you.
You made
Here's the thing about me as a black trans woman. I am not a threat to cis women. And I think it is harmful that you are going around here spewing that rhetoric, weaponizing this rhetoric against trans people.
Weaponizing facts?
Transgenderism does not exist. We as trans people exist. We are 1% of the population. And there is a lot of power in the trans identity because you are sitting here spewing something to me that doesn't really
I'm not
exist.
spewing anything. I'm just stating facts.
I have lived experience. You don't, and you never will. But I do have a question.
I have
for
lived
you.
experience.
What if one of your
I'm alive.
What if one of your kids came out as trans? How would you
God
react
forbid.
to that?
I mean, I would obviously love my children, and I would
Okay.
try to do what's best for my children. And the best thing that I could do to be respectful and also to be conducive to their flourishing
Mhm.
is to tell them the truth, which is that they're not really girls.
Oh, come on. I can't even imagine your relationship with your children. No shade.
It's great. That was a great
I just
relationship.
cannot even imagine that. But here's the reality. We
Not
exist.
reality.
Again, people like you do not have the intellectual capacity to hold conversations like this because in a minute you're going to reduce this down to genitalia and then we're going to have to shift it somewhere else because obviously
No, in a
people like
minute-
you, that's where they go, right?
In a minute, what I'm going to do is correct something you said. When you said that
Go ahead.
the rapes that have occurred in these bathrooms are cis men.
White cis men, I should say,
Yeah,
actually.
that isn't true. Loudoun County, 2021, the big case that actually ended up flipping the state was because there was a boy who wore a skirt, went into the girl's bathroom and raped a girl in a particularly hideous way. And do you know what happened? Hold on, don't cut me off. You said you wouldn't.
A cis boy. It was not a trans woman. All y'all do
I don't
is
think
go back to
All right, I can't take him.
I can't.
Listen to him anymore.
And then the blush, KJ. I'm sorry. I can't get over the blush with the eyelash. I mean, like with the eyebrow. Like it's just too much. And then she is trying to make the statement, and poor Matthew Knowles was kinder to me kinder to her than I would have been. She's trying to make the statement that white men create more rapes, and that's just not that's just not true. The statistics don't show it, unfortunately. Cis man, when it comes to crimes, y'all black men, which is y'all wear the crown. I mean, y'all just do. Is that wrong to say that?
Well, no, it's a fact. It's a fact. You know, just like people don't, especially black people, and just so you guys may not know, you can see I am a black person, don't like to hear that we only make up 13% of the population, but we contribute 55% of the crime, the violent crime in America. We don't want to hear that, but
we don't want to hear that.
It's a fact. Another fact is God made the body with dignity and value and purpose. And the purpose is attached to our biological sex. And so looking at this thing, sitting here talking to Matt was Mike Knowles, Mike Knowles.
Michael Knowles.
Michael Knowles, right. You can see that thing is in such it's in such contrast. There's war, I should say. He is warring with his body and what God designed him to do. This is why the energy is all off. You see Michael Knowles, he's calm, he's cool, he's speaking to him, he's not all over the place. And this thing is all over the place. He can't sit still. He can't even get a word out without screaming. And it's like the demon is trying to scratch its way out of his wig.
KJ, the wig is lifting. The wig is so. And my thing is he can try to dress up, but biology is what it is, baby. Like you remember, like you see Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson's son, daughter. Like he's
no, you're talking about Magic Johnson, right?
Magic Johnson, he's huge, and it's like biology is what it is. And so I feel really bad for people like this because they didn't have the parents like you and I, KJ, when we looked at our child and we said, sorry, you're a boy, and we treated them like that. What damage was done to this person where people won't tell them the truth? What damage was done to them?
Well, one, we know that the enemy is a lie. He is the author of lies.
Yeah.
And folks, what I see right there is a big wigged lie. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be mean. But we who know who our creator is, we know that our body is not the product of some mindless force. God created all of us with intrinsic purpose, and we would be happier in life if we live according to that purpose.
Absolutely.
Designed for our bodies, for our lives. And that thing is not happy. He is just all over the place.
Well, I just wanted to be fair, KJ. Since they can change their sex, then maybe I can change my economic status. I feel trans billionaire today, and I really want you to acknowledge that. So I need the jets to come pick me up. I need all of the people to fawn at my feet. Like, it only works with genitalia. It only works with boy versus girl. If I said that I'm feeling transpositional and I said I'm the CEO of my job and I'm just going to set up my office there, they would escort me out of there. It only works with boy versus girl.
Yeah.
It didn't even work with Rachel Dolezal. She really felt like a black girl. Rachel Dolezal, we owe her an apology because she felt like she was transracial. And y'all did not allow her to do that. And that's not right.
And that's the thing. I mean, we are all generally made up about around where we live, our environment. So, she was saying that she was around black people. I mean, it was still a lie. We know she was white, but I mean, if she wanted to live like she was a black person, go have at it, but
if you're gonna let Big Wig live the way that she want to, that woman is huge.
No, I know, and crazy looking. I wanted to show, if we could, really quickly. He was on Piers Morgan today, and he cut all the way up. He was on Piers Morgan with Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines and he were doing a debate, and this is crazy.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah, take a look here.
Please don't represent black women, please.
Yeah. Well, Piers had to mute his mic because he wouldn't shut up.
Why you keep calling him his?
Oh, it is. I am. All right, that is not a woman. That is not a woman. And you see by the hands, in this one, he really shows those mitts.
Why do we separate the sexes at the Olympics?
If you actually let me get to it, because you let Riley have her talking point, so I'm going to actually have my talking point right now. CC is definitely a wonderful person. And I think, let's be clear, Donald Trump is a complete moron. Donald Trump talks so much about waste and fraud, and you're signing a whole executive order banning trans women from playing sports. According to the NCAA, there are over 510,000 athletes. And within those athletes, there are only less than 10 trans athletes. So you mean to tell me Donald Trump signed an executive order for 0.002 of the population when trans people are only 1%? That's a waste. That is a waste. Trans people exist. There are more than two sexes. There are intersex people that exist. And I think that it's nothing more than conservative propaganda that because Donald Trump is in power, he is able to use. I think Donald Trump should stop booty clapping to Elon Musk and actually get something done in this country. And eradicating trans people is not going to be it. And I stand 10 toes down on that.
Okay, so
I'll say very briefly, it's this argument that it's a small percentage of the population. I hope you realize it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's not for every one male that's participating in a women's sport, it's one woman that's affected. In my sport, at our national championships, one male displaced 14,000 women. And I can speak for myself, I can speak for my teammates, I can speak for 99% of other female competitors on that pool deck. We all felt betrayed. We all felt violated in the locker room. We all felt it was unfair, but not enough people were courageous enough to say it because they were terrified. They were terrified of the name calling that you just pursued. Even, I mean, the first thing you say is Donald Trump is a moron. What 20-year-old girl wants to be called transphobic or any of the slurs that have been thrown my way? I can certainly attest to. Piers mentioned
Riley, I think you're trying to, Riley, I think you're just trying to
that.
Let the girl talk.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
Look at this bear claw. Look at this mitt. This thing is out here trying to act like we're supposed to think he's a woman.
And then her attitude, y'all, I get real pissed off when people call Donald Trump a moron. If Donald Trump is a moron, KJ, then I want to be a moron. I will sign up for being a moron any day of the week. Like, if he's a moron, what does that make you, sister girl, sir?
Oh, if I saw him out in the wild, I'd think it was some type of moose. I'd run him over. I mean, this thing is nasty. Is nasty. And he goes off and he goes crazy after this.
And make it seem like that trans people are a threat to cis women in the restroom, and that's not the case.
And then he has the nerve. I don't know if you all can see it at home. If you're watching this on the big screen, he looks like he has testicles around his neck. I don't know what that is, but it looks like 2 round testicles around his neck.
That's probably his balls. Riley Gaines is such a class act. I love how beautiful she is. I love how gracious she's being to him and him. And she's really trying to just like have a cordial conversation, and Sister Sir is so on fire. Like he ready.
Yeah,
it's the demons are all in him, and he just doesn't know what to do.
Sister
Trans women and cis women be coming together. Trans women are not a threat to.
Okay, but here's look, but Blossom.
And I think that y'all have ran on that ideology.
Yeah, Blossom.
Y'all have ran on that ideology.
Blossom,
for a very long time.
hang on.
And you're gonna have to specifically tell me cases.
Blossom,
can you specifically tell me cases of where trans women have hurt cis women in the restroom?
Blossom,
I'd like to know that.
Blossom,
please.
we don't use words like cis on here because no one understands it. Let's just.
Well, I use cisgender, so that's where
I'm sure you do, but nobody.
I like to use that in my vocabulary.
Yeah, but nobody else understands it. Let's just stick to my question. My question for you, which you have.
Just because you don't understand, you just don't have the intellectual capacity. Pierce. You don't.
And then he takes over. He's taking over Piers Morgan's show. Pierce had to mute this thing so he would stop talking.
KJ, okay, Sister Sir is just already so aggressive, so defensive. She keeps saying, oh, this is a small population and in the restroom and all of that. Like, we are talking about real women who have gotten hurt and beaten. I was talking to one of my friends today, and we were talking about how strong men really are. That was the reason that they came up with women's sports. It's amazing to me. It is actually so mind-boggling to me that no transgendered men, so any women that are dressing up as men, want to participate in men's sports. I wonder why.
Well, not according to this thing. This thing was on here saying, Pierce asked, he's like, well, what do you say? What do you think about combining the paraplegics and the Olympics? What do you think about combining that? And he had the nerve to say he thought it should be combined.
I'm telling KJ, they going down with they are ride or die for their cause. And that's what I can't get with. It's like when you know something is silly and you know something is wrong. Sister Sir, you are towering above these people, and instead of you looking over and saying, well, I can kind of see the difference, you just going standing 10 toes down with this mess.
Yeah, folks, we got to continue to stay in prayer. We really do. You can clearly see that we are not wrestling with flesh and blood.
Oh no,
this thing is nothing but pure demon right here. This is demon, and we have to pray. Pray for our children, pray for our family, and that, and pray for him. Pray for him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to help him. Prayer.
Yeah.
And all things.
And not only that, it really helps with us, you guys, like telling the truth. I remember Andrew Tate was talking about over in India, there's a lot of like what he called lady boys. And they call themselves lady boys. Now they don't say that they're women. They say, "Hey, we're lady boys." And I, like as much as I don't agree with it, and I know that the Bible speaks against this, Blossom Sister Sir has decided that this is the kind of lifestyle they want to live, which is fine. But we, as the adults in the room, have to say, yeah, I know that you feel like you're this. However, you are a man. Right. I'm sorry. And do not let up. Do not allow them to let us call good evil and evil good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have to fight back against this in the education system as well. School is a place for facts, not for this fake stuff here.
Agree.
And I'm so happy that, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, RFK has really taken the helm at HHS and already has put out this this I don't know what you would call it, rule about biological sex.
The new rule.
Right. The new rule. But it's, we already know it's something that's been going on.
The new rule, you guys, if you're just joining us, the new rule that they put out is we're going to narrow down the definition of gender and sex, which is male and female.
Right.
That's been since the beginning of time, sis. Bye.
Yeah. So we will continue to follow this story. We wanted to talk to you all about something controversial, even on the right. And I really want to get you guys' thoughts on this, the IVF controversy. So, as you all know, President Trump just laid out another executive order making access to IVF much more easier. So, and this has been quite the issue, particularly on the right. Now, even we were just talking about Michael Knowles. He came out on his podcast and gave a scathing response to President Trump doing this. So I want to talk about it. So first, I'd like to really make sure we're all on the same page of exactly what IVF is.
Yes.
So IVF stands for in vitro fertilization. It's a medical procedure used to help individuals or couples conceive a child when they face fertility issues. So the term in vitro means in lab or outside the body. So basically, there are a couple ways it works. Ovarian stimulation. This is where medications are given to stimulate the ovaries to produce multiple eggs instead of the usual one. Then there's egg retrieval. So once the eggs are mature, they are collected from the ovaries using a minor surgical procedure. Then the next step is fertilization. The eggs are combined with sperm in a lab dish. Fertilization can happen naturally, or a single sperm can be injected directly into an egg. The next step would be the embryo development. So the fertilized embryos are monitored as they develop in the lab for a few days. Next, they do an embryo transfer. So a healthy embryo is selected and transferred into the woman's uterus, hoping it will implant and lead to pregnancy. And then after a couple of weeks, they take a pregnancy test or a blood test to check if the embryo has been implanted successfully. And that's it. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And
so you summed it up.
Pro-life people, many pro-lifers are upset because they said that, this involves, the sanctity of life. So
yeah. terminating.
Go ahead.
Yeah, terminating the fetuses that don't have life or whatever,
The embryos.
pro-lifers. Yeah, the embryos that are not viable.
Right.
Or some of them that may be viable but unwanted. I know pro-lifers.
Because apparently they many times they have multiple embryos are often created to increase the chances of pregnancy, but not all of those embryos are implanted in the woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
I get it. I get the pro-lifer because I'm a pro-life absolutist, right? I believe that the word of God is true. It says, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. So I get the pro-life movement. What I will say is that President Trump, and I keep saying this, he's not a Christian president, y'all. He is the president of the United States. And this is something that his constituents wanted. And unfortunately, science can seem a little bit like it's playing God. I mean, think about it. People who are born blind can now see. You kind of, I like there's so many things that science does that, improves upon people's lives. I'm struggling with this because I agree. Like, I don't want to see any embryo terminated. But I guess President Trump is just to the point where he wanted to honor his commitment that he made to struggling families that are trying to conceive a child. And you just don't get it right every single time.
Well, my question is this, and this is why I actually looked up the process. To me, I don't understand how it's actually destroying life. So when you go through, you get up to they do fertilize the egg, but then the fertilized eggs are in a lab. So those ones that are left in the lab, they may just take one or two and actually put them inside of the woman uterus. Now, the ones in the uterus, that's when the pregnancy occurs. No, the ones in the lab, that's not life, is it?
Yeah, it technically is. And that was the question with the Supreme Court, is the viability. That's why they overturned Roe versus Wade, because with the whole Roe versus Wade decision, they were trying to determine viability. So they were like, the reason why this is not technically killing because the embryo cannot live outside of the uterus. Well, now with all the improvements of science, they can actually grow a life with sperm and an egg in the lab, technically.
I get that, but before they go the next step, so we are at the point where they fertilize the eggs are combined with sperm in the lab, and so now they have these embryos that are frozen, but you can't do anything until it's put back in the uterus, right?
Well, I guess that's what pro-lifers are saying is like you basically killed them by default because you haven't implanted them.
Oh,
I mean, because they technically are living. I mean, they are. I just don't think that these are one of the things that you just get perfectly as humans. There are things that we don't get right. And the Bible actually says that his ways are not our ways, neither his thoughts our thought. As far as the east is from the west, so are his thoughts versus ours. Like, this is something that's so sensitive, you guys, that we are not going to be perfect on. However, we do have to offer a solution to so many couples or constituents in President Trump's case that are struggling with infertility, and they have this science that is going to help them. I just don't think that it's a fight. Like, I really don't. Like I believe that God, let God be God, and whatever imperfections that are there, he'll sort them out. Like, and he'll understand our hearts, you know.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I feel like this. Yeah, I don't think that this is something, the whole thing, I don't think it's something that we probably should be doing. But I look at it like people who, for instance, blended families. So how you have some people who in the Bible they say marriage is supposed to be forever, or if or people who don't have kids outside of marriage.
Yeah.
People who live together before marriage. All these things we're not really supposed to do that way.
Facts.
But it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But again, there are consequences. There are that most of the time I find that when we do things outside of God's design and biblical standards, there are consequences every time.
Yeah.
It's something, it just does always something that doesn't, isn't quite right. Things we have to deal with or tend with that we may not have tended with if we had just followed God's word. But we're not perfect,
Exactly. It's kind of like war. It's not perfect. It's not necessarily God's design, but it's part of the human experience. And I'm grateful for the IAVF, and I'm grateful that President Trump thought enough about the people who are struggling, because fact of the matter is, if you really want to talk about struggle, KJ, like, we have a 1.7 birth rate. You need at least a birth rate of 3 to maintain your own population. And so people are having babies later. People are having abortions. They're getting rid of babies. We need more good people that can afford in vitro fertilization to continue to reproduce. And one of the consequences of that eventual in vitro fertilization is that you have embryo that may not survive, and as sad as it is, it just is. That's kind of where I don't have a strong position either way.
I don't either. I'm like you said. I mean, I don't think this is right. I don't think it's right. But, and I think that another consequence to this is, I mean, what you see, a lot of people that are using this are not married. A lot of gays are using it, and so on and so forth. So that's a consequence. Sometimes it's, not meant for some people to have kids. And again, my heart goes out to people who have fertility issues. I have very close family and friends who have had fertility issues. I know how hard it can be. So, and I am not saying any of this with judgment or anything. I know people are going to do what's best for their families. But I am saying that there will be a consequence to this. It will be that some people who are not supposed to have kids will have children.
Yeah.
And that's not always a good thing. So, that is another consequence to it. And another one is, again, when we go outside of God's design and the way he wants our life to do, there are problems that come up, particularly this one. A Georgia woman is suing a fertility clinic after she says she was implanted with a stranger's embryo. This is what I'm talking about. So Christina Murray, 38, gave birth to a healthy Black baby boy in December 2023 following IVF treatments. However, Murray is white, as is the male donor, who was a dirty blonde-haired and blue-eyed man.
Human error.
She obviously was given the wrong donor. And she says, after the woman says she told coastal fertility specialists of their error, the clinic notified the baby's biological parents, who sued Murray for custody of their child. Murray says she gave up the 5-month-old baby instead of continuing to pursue a legal fight. She was told she couldn't win. Murray has not seen the baby since.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's the consequence. That's the consequences when we try to play God, unfortunately. And that's not in every case, you guys. I believe, like you said, I've had friends that had IVF, and IVF is not rainbows and Skittles.
no,
It's not.
right.
Like, it's tough. It is tough. The hormone injections that they have to take, the emotions that they have to go through their body, and a lot of times it's not successful, and they just pay $20,000. I know a friend that paid $20,000 3 times. She's $60,000 in a hole and no baby. So it's it's not easy, but I do believe that there's somewhere in, like God is entrusting, you know this world to human beings, and we're gonna have some mistakes that we make. Hopefully this whole in vitro fertilization with things like that just happened gets us back to the more natural way of doing things. Like, hey, we don't want to do that, so let me have children, let me be in a committed relationship, let me marry early, let me give my best years to my spouse, and not wait till I'm 45 to try and have a baby. That's what I'm hoping will come from all the mistakes that we're making right now as human beings.
Yeah, I hope so too. And as you said, and I certainly agree, my heart goes out to any couple, married couple that are having trouble conceiving and want to badly.
Yeah. And I was saying this on my podcast the other day, is I love that President Trump and Elon Musk, nothing is by chance with them. You notice they're bringing around their kids, KJ.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they're bringing around their grandkids. Elon Musk is bringing around his kids because he's almost trying to make family like great again, and make, because kids have been seen as burdens, or kids been seen like, your life is over. And they are showing that you can have your child, you can do your job, you can do your work, and have your baby and have your grandbaby. And I'm hoping that we get more back to that. It's going to take a while.
Do you think that it is the government's role to subsidize the payments for this, though, for in vitro? I mean, is that really the government's role to do that, or should they stay out of it?
I believe that the government should assist its citizens for the betterment of the population. And truth be told, we have a population issue here in the United States. Our reproductive rate is 1.7. We need at least 3%. I mean, at least a 3 to maintain the population. And so the government is basically saying, I am trying to push the populace in the direction of having more children. And are they going to be perfect at the solutions for that? No. But I do think that it's getting the right message across, meaning we want more babies because we need more babies. If not, I mean, how, like, the labor force and Social Security and all that, these immigrants are going to have to come in.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want the chat to sound off. I know the chat's been sounding off on it, but what do you all think? Do you think this IVF goes against pro-life? Or do you think you fall in the middle, or you think it's fine, it doesn't go against pro-life? And then also, do you think that President Trump, like he's giving more access to IVF? Do you think the government should be involved in subsidizing the cost of IVF treatments? So sound off in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys think.
I'm glad he did it, because you remember Kamala Harris kept saying that he was going to get rid of it,
right?
And he made a promise that he wouldn't. And so, if anything, I know she was just making it up, but he's a man of his word. So
yes, he is. Yes, he is. Robin says, I think we should give it to God and let his will be done. Amen,
True.
Rob. Amen. Yeah, we'll continue to see what you guys think in the chat. So next we move to our segment of where in the world is the white supremacy?
You know what? We have been told that everything that's going on with the blacks is because of 400 years of slavery, white supremacy, the white man holding them down, the government is stacked up against them. So KJ and I are going to start to look and see, with all these issues that are plaguing the black community, we want to find where the white folks play a part in it.
Yeah. And so we're starting, this is actually our first segment of this, and we're going to start local with crisis in Baltimore City. And so we want this segment is going to focus on where's the white supremacy in this issue, this topic.
KJ, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Can't you see it? The white supremacy.
Yeah. So you guys help us. This is an issue going on in Baltimore City right now. Take a look.
Here, Gerard. Well, Baltimore police have identified nearly 400 crime victims in the past week as residents say they're fed up with violence and quality of life crimes. Fox 45's Vincent Hill looks into which crimes is on the rise and what's on the decline.
Well, just about every type of crime affecting almost everyone in the city, almost on a daily basis.
This number is more than just an address of a Baltimore City home.
Can you change this to a burglary?
It's the number of victims in a 7-day period, 394. That's 56 victims a day for everything from simple theft to armed robbery. Tuesday in Highlandtown, a burglary.
Property was taken with 3 bikes and other tools.
The victim, not wanting to go on camera, telling Fox 45 he noticed his shed broken into, saying it happened sometime overnight Monday. Also in Highlandtown, just around the corner, this hit and run caught on camera.
White Chevy Equinox.
It happened Friday, just before midnight. The victim's truck totaled from the damage. A few hours later, in North Baltimore,
they jumped in the vehicle.
Another crime, multiple victims.
She broke the glass, climbed in.
5 juveniles breaking into several cars, only to leave empty-handed, leaving the victim with a small bill.
I pay a deductible of $100.
And a whole lot of frustration.
Until you hold them accountable, it's going to be the same stuff. I mean, our community is going to be, constantly people are going to have to come out their pocket and pay for stuff that they don't have to.
But it's not just property crimes accounting for those 394 victims.
They're trying to get whatever they can get.
In the same time period, 31 people fell victim to a robbery.
We become prey for them. And they're going to fight and go after what they want. And they're going to be willing to take it.
There it is. So
394. And KJ, you could add some light on this. He said, just $100 deductible. Like, is it just going to be $100 deductible, or is that going to cost them for how many years as a claim?
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah. I mean, we know that these types of crimes, like breaking, entering, car robbery and things like that, as these are reported to police, it then is put over to insurance, and then the insurance rates for that zip code, for that community, continue to skyrocket.
Yes.
So these people will get doubly hit. They'll be hit for having to repair their vehicles, repair their homes for the break-ins. And then once it gets to the insurance renewal time, at the whatever time of the year that is, they'll see that their rates for home and auto have gone up because the crime has gone up.
Well, I guess that's where the white supremacy is because the white man, Mr. Allstate or Mr. State Farm, he takes the money.
Right. That's what they say. That's what they try to say.
There are no white people. I was so hurt watching this. 395 quality of life crimes. What does that say, you guys? quality of life. This is what we are supposed to have endowed by God. The Constitution states life, liberty, and in pursuit of happiness. Quality of life crimes that people are doing against Black people. There were no white people in that video.
No. Black people committing the crimes, and the Black people are the victims, which is the case in many cities across the country. And then they claim white supremacy or racism when businesses no longer want to go to these areas, when the education system is poor because homeowners are moving out because of the property taxes are going up, the insurance is going up, and so on and so forth because of the crime. Because of the crime.
And you have nothing to show for it. You're paying higher taxes. You're paying for a higher cost of living. Your insurance is higher. Your BG&E bill is higher because people are stealing the power, like that live in abandos. Everything is going higher for the American taxpayer. And then when the American taxpayer say no, you say, oh, well, you just don't want to live in Black neighborhoods. Like we don't get it, y'all. This is hurting us, and Black victims are the victims of Black crimes. This is not a white supremacist. This is not the white man. This is not the man.
No, it's not. And then the really funny part about this is as we continue to feel the weight of high property taxes, and taxes in general, you have a president who is at least trying to give us some relief on the federal level, and they're calling him a white supremacist.
I know. Now, I'm telling you, I say it all the time, KJ, and I'll say it to you. President Trump don't owe Black folks nothing. Let's tell it like he don't owe us nothing. But I'm so grateful that he cares about Americans. Black Americans are some of the most blessed people on the planet because you have an American passport. If not, you'd be over there in Africa or in China in them sweatshops. Like, we have a country that is trying to do right by us, and we cannot get it together. What is going on? And we are not standing up against the people in the Black community that continue to oppress their own people.
Right. And what we're trying to show here in this segment, where in the world is the white supremacy, is we have the left screaming white supremacy, screaming white privilege to many Democrats, many Black Americans. And what matters to us, the major obstacles in our lives are stuff like this: break-ins, violence, robberies that raise the property taxes, that increase insurance. These are all things, quality of life things. This is what is a major obstacle, and none of this has anything to do with white privilege.
Yes, and we're going to call you out, even if you are Black. I am sorry. If you are Black and committing crimes, then we reject you. I don't care how down with the people you are. And we can't continue to allow that. Why? Because our children they deserve a better future than that. They do, KJ. This ain't personal. This is not personal.
No, it's not. As you mentioned, it's not. And we are going to continue, like you said, to talk about this every week.
Yes.
We would come on here and say, where in the world is the white supremacy that these Democrats and leftists shout about?
We gonna find it, KJ. I'm sure it's somewhere. We gonna find the KKK. We gonna find somebody dressed up in a hood somewhere, like in a white hood. The George Floyd policing lynching bill. Oh, no, the lynching bill. We gonna
right. Yeah,
y'all. It ain't nobody but Black folks.
Right.
Like, it ain't.
And speaking of Black folks, I want to share this really quickly. This just dropped tonight. Van Jones is back again, and this time he's talking about Elon Musk, and we were going to talk about this tonight anyway. Take a look at what he says here.
Crying Van Jones.
Van, what you think about, say, that message as opposed to some of the insensitive things we've heard from Elon Musk, the chainsaw stuff, etc.
Look, there's a smart way and a dumb way to do anything. And what they're doing by, the Nazi salute and the chainsaws, they want us talking about stuff that at the end of the day doesn't matter. We won't even remember in a week. Here's what's not going to be forgotten. There are veterans right now in the United States that are having a hard time seeing a doctor because there's been so much chaos in our government. There are nurses. There are people who are trying to keep our water safe. People are trying to make sure our food is being explained. There's complete chaos. And the problem that you have is we are all trust fund babies. We didn't build this country. Our parents built this country. Our grandparents built this country. They put the laws in place. They put the roads on the ground. And we are just squandering it by letting somebody put termites all over the pillars that hold up our society. What? It's so easy to say, oh, America's government's terrible. America's government sucks. You go to another country. You come back here and you can't wait to get back to see a country that...
What are they talking about?
Shut your stupid self up, Van Jones. Like, you are so irrelevant, it's not even funny.
No, if there is waste, any company that finds that there's waste, that there is fraud, either if you don't scope it out, if you don't take it out, find out where it is and get rid of it, you're going to become insolvent. And these people, they like to, because the government, prints this money, and they feel like we have endless amounts of money. And this is why we're in deficit. This is why they want to tax us out the wazoo, because they don't care about the people, because they think we are cash cows. We are the ones, are cogs in the system that they can continue to push for more money.
Yes.
And Musk and Trump is saying the buck stops here. We have to find out where this fraud is going and fix it.
Exactly. And maybe we don't have doctors and nurses is because nobody wants to go be a doctor and nurse when you can make $75,000 not doing what you're supposed to do, working at Medicare and Social Security and a government job. Nobody owes you a government job pushing paper. Go do something. I know Elon Musk is trying to build rockets. I know he's trying to go on the moon. I know we're trying to get more nurses and get more doctors and get more teachers. Everybody thinks that we owe you a Social Security processing job. Screw you, Van Jones. Screw you. You do not need to give advice on how to run anything to the billionaires. Like, you're as irrelevant as Elon Musk. We don't need your help, sir.
No. Here he is again. Here he still continues.
Is run as well as ours. Is there waste, fraud, and abuse? There is in every country. But you cut it with a scalpel. You don't cut it with a chainsaw. And you cut fat. These people are cutting fat, muscle, bone, and marrow. When they say they're going to take $1 trillion out, that's going to hurt a lot.
What is he talking about when we have found that the Democrats have been giving millions, billions of dollars to fund trans stuff in other countries? How is that cutting out the bone in the marrow?
KJ, this is the hill that these people are willing to die on because they cannot speak and say, I'm so happy that Donald Trump is doing that. Cut everything, as Mr. Wonderful said. Y'all not cutting it fast enough. Cut everything. We'll let you know if you're essential. We will call you back if we need you. And if we don't, we will move on. But nobody owes you a government job. Nobody.
A lot of people. And by the way, go to Congress. You are a Republican president. You have control of the House and the Senate. Go to Congress and let's have a real process. But you unleash somebody who's doing theatrics and abandoning his own children and having some weird fantasy in front of everybody to be popular. Just do whatever he wants to do with no oversight. That is anti-American. And it's
so here he is with the abandoning children thing. I guess he's talking about, we were going to talk about this tonight and end on this.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk with his
number
13 kids. So a conservative influencer claims she gave birth to a child fathered by Elon Musk in a shocking public declaration on social media last week. Author Ashley St. Clair, she's 26, said in a post on X that she and Elon Musk share a 5-month-old child. She says, 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. She says, I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety, but in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so, regardless of the harm it will cause. So Musk has not acknowledged St. Clair's claim publicly yet, but the Post has reached out, New York Post, to his lawyer for confirmation, and he has not responded about this.
Baby. I don't know, KJ. I feel so torn with this situation. Because on one hand, we are conservatives, and I do believe that a child deserves a mother and a father in the home in a loving relationship. That is what we believe as conservatives is God's design. But at the same time, like, I don't like the fact of shaming a person who had a baby out of wedlock, because that is what has caused so many abortions. I know it caused so many abortions in me, like not feeling like I wasn't married. I don't want to have this baby and this baby not have a father. So I'm really struggling. I'm not excited about, you stepping out and the baby not having a father in the home, but I don't want to shame her. Like, I don't know.
Of course not. I mean, I agree. Definitely not shame her.
Mhm.
I don't think honestly, I don't think it's anybody's business. I really don't. I mean,
That's a Shelley answer, KJ.
Right. And we did talk about this on Pop and Politics as well. But I feel like, as a conservative and as somebody that, know that there is value in marriage, value in, being in the same home with your kids and things like that. Yes, I mean, it's not ideal. What he's doing, I think we said this is number 13.
13. He outdid Nick Cannon.
Yeah, 13 kids. He's not, I think he was married before, but I think maybe
he married twice, I think.
Okay, twice. Okay. Yeah, so it's not ideal. But I don't know what their situation is. I don't know what's going on with that.
This was trying to get paid. Like, you start to see how she really like kind of entrapped him. But I wouldn't say she entrapped him, because like Elon Musk has made it very clear that he wants to populate the earth with his sperm. Like, that's just his thing. So kudos to sis. She will be taken care of for the rest of her life, if that's truly his baby.
Yeah.
What I will say is that what we think is really not relevant, the Bible honors a child born with a loving mother and a father in the home. I mean, like, there's benefits, and there's like promises that are given to that child, like if you want to just even bring it to biblical days, is with Isaac and what's the other baby name? Isaac and I'm trying to think. Abraham and Isaac, and then he had the baby outside with the bondswoman. And he said Ishmael. Yeah, Isaac and Ishmael. And Isaac was the son of promise. Well, why? Because he was the son between Sarah and Abraham. And then, even though God still blessed Ishmael, he said he blessed Ishmael, and he didn't curse and condemn Ishmael. Isaac was the son of promise. So I think that we have to kind of keep that in mind. But as conservatives, we can be a little bit judgy. And my issue is that y'all be coming for Elon Musk. I mean, y'all be coming for Nick Cannon, but y'all not really coming for Elon Musk like that. Like, we just need to remain consistent.
Right.
And there was a lot of conservatives that came out that was like, "Oh, we're so happy for you. Oh my God, congratulations."
Okay.
And I'm like, you wouldn't be doing that if Nick Cannon was announcing his third baby. Like you wouldn't.
Right.
So what kind of energy we giving?
Yeah, I think we can do both. I think we can acknowledge the blessing of a child, and we can also say, hey, what's going on here? Were you just out here planting your seeds everywhere? You want to marry these women, we can do both. We can do both. And the big thing about it is, Elon Musk is not a Christian.
No, he's not a Christian.
I think he's actually he was an atheist for a while. I don't think he's an atheist, but so there's no expectation there for me as far as moral clarity, as far as that's concerned. I don't agree with him honestly on everything. I don't agree with his stance on AI and all that kind of stuff. You guys know I'm not for that. So I'm not surprised. I am certainly not surprised. But I am thankful that God has put him in this position with Trump to expose all of the fraud and waste. And I like what they're doing with our government with that. And so on that note, I'm just leaving.
And I like that he wants to have more kids. Like I don't like the way that he's going about it. I believe that, like I said, that God will bless him if he decided to commit to one woman. But that's not his journey. He hasn't made the commitment that we have in Christ. I'm grateful that she didn't terminate the baby. Right. Sis is gonna be paid. Go ahead, girlfriend. Go ahead, Ashley. Get your check. I ain't hating on it. Like, it's not like he's making all these babies that he can't financially take care of. Right. He can financially take care of them. He can financially take care of her. I just don't know. Like, she's a little, I was locked in a apartment. Like, she's a little trying to. What I hear of her is trying to play a little victim. And I'm like, girl, you knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing. You have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire.
Yeah, but you know what? There are a lot of empty millionaires. Money does not make everything. There are a lot of millionaires that are miserable, that
agree
kids that would trade places with somebody who isn't so rich in a heartbeat. So that doesn't tell the whole story. But like I said, what are they gonna do? So all right.
Good luck. Good luck to them and that beautiful baby.
Right. Yes. And look, Allie said no, but it helps a lot. Yeah.
I know, Allie. Look, I don't know.
I know it does. It does. This is why we want them to give us our tax money back.
Yes. Give me my money.
Yeah.
Run me my money.
All right, folks. Well, that does it for us tonight. We will be back on Sunday. We will be back on Sunday night, 9 p.m. right here on Christian Conservative. Like, share, and subscribe. Please, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps to amplify our voice here on YouTube. And subscribe. Yes. We need all of the subscribers. We're trying to grow this channel. And God told us to do this. And so we are here and really trying to grow this channel. So share this broadcast, like, and subscribe.
Yes. Ditto everything that KJ says. This was fun, you guys. Come and join us on Sunday.
Yes. And do you have a scripture tonight?
Oh my gosh. So the scripture, hold on. What did I say? I already said a scripture. What did I say? I think I said bind the strong man.
Oh, right. You did. Right. Okay. You did. Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, that does it for us tonight, folks. Thank you so much. We will be back on Sunday night. All right. Until then, wishing you warm days and starry nights.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.